adventure of getting close to Bigfoot. Well, all it's done in Alabama for about the last month or so is rain every day and every night, and we may not have any Bigfoot left in the state. They may all be drowned or washed down in the Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, what I was doing was going over some pictures tonight of some investigations that we've done and some signs that we've seen of them, some bent trees and footprints and that type of stuff. And that's what I want you to do, is just take a look at those pictures right quick tonight.
This is a trail that I located, and after I did, I walked into the woods here a little ways and found several broken and bent trees. This is a broken tree. It was broken off about 7 or 8 feet from the ground, so it had to be something pretty tall to reach up to break it. This is where Dorothy and I one night were out on a Bigfoot expedition or whatever, and we kept hearing them over in the woods. And a little bit later on, whenever we got in the vehicle to leave, we turned the lights on, and we saw these 2 spots on the ground. So I got a flashlight and a camera, and we went back, and we believe they peed for us that night. Maybe they didn't like what we were talking about, or they didn't like us being there. Okay, now this is a broken tree. If you'll notice, you can tell it was twisted and broken. This was in an area where the woods had been burned off a while back, as you can see on the ground. But it was just this one tree that was broken. In the background here are a lot of bent trees, and in the foreground it looks like a couple have been pushed over next to the other 2 pine trees there. And the big pine tree on the right, you can see 2 limbs have been laid up against it. This is another trail I found, and if you will notice in the trail, there's a place or 2 that kind of looks like where it could be a footprint, where the pine straw has been mashed a little deeper than what has just fallen naturally there. This is in a very hot spot. Here's a picture of another 2 or 3 bent trees. This was right behind where the trail was. After I walked down the trail just a little ways, I came across these bent tree formations. And this is another bent tree that's in that same area, and it seemed to be bent real tight, kind of like it was an archway. Matter of fact, it's 2 trees bent toward each other and then woven together. And this was in Zana a little while back, whenever the landowners burned some land off, and I found bent trees and broken trees here and other signs. And I went back the next day, and something had brought these little yellow flowers and had placed along where the fire had been. This is some footprints along a creek also in Zana. I made the picture from the bridge. And this is one of the best teepee structures that I have run across. There was several limbs and trees bent to push here, and this would possibly be big enough for a family to live in. Here are about 3 or 4 tall bent trees. This is also in Zana. Right here you'll see a bent tree in the foreground, and right under it in the background you'll see a broken tree. This is a good sign that Bigfoot is pretty close by. And here are just some more bent trees, but this bent tree has a long pole laid over the top of it, and it looks like behind it there's a pole laid to form an X over the top of the bent tree. In this one, if you will notice, kind of over on that ridge up in the air, there's been a limb put up in the pine trees, a horizontal limb. I'm not sure if this is direction or what this is for, but you see this often around Bigfoot. This tree here was carried in here from somewhere and was woven in these 4 other trees. I don't think it would fall like that. Okay, now this is a footprint that I managed to get a picture of a while back. As you can see, the right side of his foot, well, there it is where I took my crayon and went around it for you. The right side of his foot landed on this stick, so that threw the weight to go over to the left side, and you can see the toe impressions and the heel pretty plain. This one is from a swamp in South Alabama, and the track is already filled back up with water, but you can tell it's a pretty good size footprint because the person that made it had a tape measure, and below the footprint you can see about how long it was. Okay, well, there was some evidence of Bigfoot that we found throughout Alabama in some of our investigations, and some of the pictures were sent to us from some other people, and hope you enjoyed looking at those tonight. And as I've said in the past, I want to remind you that the Alabama Bigfoot Society is run completely out of pocket, and if you're in a position to where you could donate money or donate equipment for us to continue doing our research and looking for this elusive creature, we would very much appreciate it. Would like to also say if you have some video footage of Bigfoot or any type of Bigfoot investigation that you've done, if you found signs of him or that type of stuff, we would appreciate you sending it to us, and we'll edit it down, and if you'd like credit for it, we'll be glad to put your name on it. If you send us a picture or if you're on the video and okay it, we'll be glad to put you on. And but we want you to remember that we do keep identity. But we want you to remember that we keep identity. But we want you to remember that we keep identities completely 100% confidential here at Alabama Bigfoot Society. The reason I'm laughing is I have done this about 3 times and I keep saying identity's wrong. But anyway, very few bloopers we ever make. So if you're out there filming and you make a blooper, don't worry about it. You wouldn't believe the editing that we have to do sometimes. But if you do have some video that you would like to forward along to us, please do so, and we'll make an Alabama Adventure Getting Close to Bigfoot episode out of it. Tonight I'd also like to say a special hello to my granddaughter Madison, and we're still thinking about you, and we're still wanting to see you real soon. And we hope you'll tune in next time for the next Alabama Adventure, Getting Close to Bigfoot.